Yang Yuhan, also known as Yang Guifei, is remembered as one of China's 4 great beauties. Yet her life is not just marked by her beauty but by a fateful love story and a tragedy embedded in the whirlwind of power. Born in the Jiangnan region, Yang Yuhan quickly stood out for her stunning appearance and natural talents. To many, she was known as the osmanthus blossom of Jiangnan, not only because of her delicate beauty but also her sharp intellect and artistic soul. She loved the rainy afternoons along the riverbank, immersing herself in the sound of ancient instruments and the scent of flowers. As if her destiny was already set for an extraordinary path. When Yang Yuhan became the wife of Prince Li Mao, one of the sons of Emperor Xuanzong of Tang, her life seemed like a dream at first. In the palace, Yang Yuhan captivated all who looked upon her with her elegance and grace. But her fate changed forever upon meeting Emperor Xuanzong, the mighty ruler of the Tang Dynasty. Xuanzong, already in his middle years and burdened by years of court affairs, felt his heart rekindle when he laid eyes on Yang Yuhan. She appeared before him like a light breaking through his days of melancholy, reviving a fire in his heart thought to be long extinguished. It is said that the first time Xuanzong saw her was during a banquet in the imperial court. Dressed in pure white silk, she was like the embodiment of spring itself. Her smile was radiant, her gaze deep as still water, and every gesture carried a graceful charm. Xuanzong was struck and entranced, feeling an intense love he had never known. However, to make her his consort, Xuanzong would have to bypass strict court regulations and defy the moral standards of his time. Driven by love, he defied everything, bringing Yang Yuhan to his side and bestowing upon her the title of Guifei, the highest-ranking consort, a position of unrivaled power under heaven. Their love quickly became legendary. They were not just lovers but kindred souls. To please her, Xuanzong granted her privileges that no one else had ever known. He planted hundreds of osmanthus trees in the palace so that she could enjoy their soft fragrance. Mesmerized by her musical talent, he invited the finest musicians to compose songs for her. He wished to offer her the entire world, showing that his love was boundless and irreplaceable. On moonlit nights, they often strolled together beneath the rows of osmanthus trees, whispering vows under the stars. They lived in a world of their own, a world drenched in fragrance and light. Yet the price of their love was heavy. As their love blossomed, so too did seeds of disaster. The Yang family, especially Yang Yuhan's brother, Yang Guozhong, took advantage of her influence to climb the ranks of power. Once an unknown figure, Yang Guozhong rose to become the Grand Chancellor, manipulating court affairs and sowing discord among officials. The Tang court, once prosperous, began to fracture, and the splendor of the imperial court could not hide the underlying unrest. Yang Yuhan, though intelligent, remained largely unaware of the full scope of her family's actions, and she became a pawn in the hands of her own kin. Rumors about her spread across the palace, with many accusing her of leading the emperor into indulgence and neglect of his duties. But Xuanzong, unwavering, always protected and cherished her, disregarding the growing resentment. This festering jealousy and anger within the court were like sparks waiting to ignite into something far more dangerous. Ultimately, the flames of rebellion ignited. In 755, the An Lushan Rebellion erupted, and the whole empire was shaken. An Lushan, a prominent general once trusted by Xuanzong, seized on public resentment toward the Yang family to fuel his uprising. Advancing on the capital, Chang'an, as the rebel forces closed in, Emperor Xuanzong and Yang Guifei fled Chang'an, carrying only memories of their once lavish life. The escape was grueling. Xuanzong, now old and weary, and Yang Guifei, once the most radiant blossom in the imperial garden, were both reduced to sorrow and exhaustion. When they arrived at Mowei Post Station, tensions among the military escort reached a breaking point. The soldiers, filled with anger and mistrust, blamed Yang Guifei and her family for the kingdom's downfall, demanding that Xuanzong order her execution to quell public outrage and restore their faith. Xuanzong, faced with the most harrowing decision of his life, looked into the eyes of the woman he had loved beyond measure. She gazed back with silent understanding, holding no bitterness, aware that his choice was not born of betrayal but of necessity. In her final moments, Yang Guifei walked away with serene grace, her footsteps light as if dancing through a storm. With each step, she seemed to take with her the love and joy they had shared, leaving Xuanzong behind with only the hollow echo of his lost happiness. He watched her until she disappeared, knowing that his heart would never be whole again. Back in Chang'an, Xuanzong was consumed by loneliness and regret. Nights grew long as he sat before her bronze mirror, staring at his reflection, a weary, old man with empty eyes. Sometimes he felt her warmth beside him, her music whispering in the night air. In dreams, she returned to him, smiling softly, but as he reached out, she vanished like mist in the morning light. Chang'an, once the center of power, now felt like a ghostly shadow of its former self, a relic of a golden age lost to ashes. The story of Xuanzong and young Guifei became a poignant tale of love and sacrifice. A lesson on the cost of power. They once shared a love that transcended moral codes and political scheming. Yet in that world, where each step bore consequences, their love was bound for tragedy. Xuanzong, the emperor who had ruled over all, lost the one person he held dearest, left only with the empty ache of memory. Their story lives on in poems and history, echoing as an eternal reminder of a love that could not endure in the ruthless tides of fate. It is a sorrowful sigh from the Tang Dynasty, a scar that the annals of China cannot forget.